guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sabrina and I'm so excited to have you here today. I'm going to be talking about my recommended reads for the winter 2021 semester. Okay, that was dumb. So I am in my winter 2021 semester and I actually just changed my degree, but all of these classes still count toward my degree. So my degree was elementary education with a focus of language arts, but I actually just changed it to secondary education with a focus of literature, writing, and reading, which is just basically your high school English teacher. So I'm very excited. So let's just go through all these books that I need to read for my classes this semester. I'm actually doing just a lot of literature classes this semester to get them out of the way, and then next semester I want to have a lot of my basic classes again. So let's just get started. The first book I have here is Speak by Laurie Anderson. So I believe this book is about a girl whose life is flipped upside down, and I believe there's a mention of suicide and a mention of self-harm in it. And I think this is going to be a very good read. I think I'm very excited to read it because I definitely think as an adolescent literature reader, I know we don't really see a lot of that stuff in books, and I also think it's important to see it because it is something people suffer from. But I'm very excited to read this book and I think I will learn a lot from it. It is about a girl named Melinda, and Melinda is at her lowest of low and everything is about to change for her, and I'm very excited to read it. So the next book I have to read for this semester is Stamped: Racism, Anti-Racism and You by Jason Reynolds and Abram Kendi. So I am very excited to read this book. I've been kind of had it on my TBR for a hot minute, but I think it's important to learn about the race separation, especially in America, because I think that, speaking from my experience with my friends who are of color of the United States, I know that there are definitely things people do to make them seem like they're different, and I really think it's important as the friends and loved ones to people of color is to never act like that and never make them feel that way. So I'm very excited to read this book and kind of see where people of color come from when racism is brought into view, because I know especially in America it's been such a problem lately, and quite frankly I'm sick of seeing police brutality on the news because it shouldn't be happening, right? Okay. I'm excited to get an in-depth view of the here and now of racism, because I feel like every time people talk about racism, they're talking about things that happened when Martin Luther King was marching and when slavery was abolished, and that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the here and now of people who are still acting the ways of slavery. So I'm very excited to read this, and I'm very excited to see a colored person's view of basically the whole thing, because I think that is so important to see what we could do better, and I'm excited. Wow, that was like in depth. Now we're gonna talk about fairy tales. You know, the usual. So the next one I have is just The Classic Fairy Tales by Marina Tater, the second Norton Critical Edition. Basically just a book of fairy tales because I'm taking a folklore class, and also I just had to read Rumpelstiltskin for the first time and it was terrifying. This man ripped himself in two. What? But yeah, I'm excited for fairy tales. Actually, fairy tales have always been kind of interesting to me just because there's so many of them and they date so far back. Like Hercules dates back to like Aeropostale days, and that's so interesting to me and I'm here for it. The next one I have is Binti by Nadie. I'm not gonna say her name, baby, because I will ruin it. So Nadie O. And this book is about a girl who is the first one to be offered a place at Omaza University, the finest institution of higher learning in the galaxy. But to accept the offer will mean giving up her place in her family to travel between the stars among strangers who do not share her ways or respect her customs. I think this is going to be nice. It's literally so small. Do you guys see this? But I think it's something that a lot of people actually deal with, is moving away to a college or a job or whatever, and no longer being around people who know your customs or know your culture, and that's definitely something that a lot of people deal with. So I'm very excited to read this and kind of get a view on that. So the next book I have is Aristotle and Dante Discovered the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin O'Leary Sinez. So this book follows two characters who are very different, but they are bonded in a special way. But this just kind of talks about the power of friendship and how believing in each other and being best friends with another person can kind of change your life. I'm very excited for this book because I've heard amazing things about it, and I just have not been able to read it yet by myself, so I'm excited to be able to read it this semester. The next one I have is Dear Martin by Nick Stone. So I'm very excited for this book because it, like Stamped, it kind of shows up the people of color color view of racism. So the back says, Justice is a good kid, an honor student, always there to help a friend, so why is he the one in handcuffs? So I think this is really something that especially people of color in the States deal with, on how if there is a white man and a black man side by side, the police somehow always suspect the black man. So I'm very excited to read this and kind of see the teenage point of view of the racism in the United States. I'm very excited for it because I think that's something that's very prominent and we all need to learn from. So I'm very excited. So the next book that is covered in dust is The Dreamer by Pam Minoa's Ryan and Peter Sis. So this book is about a little boy who is a dreamer. He loves to collect things, he loves to treasure hunt, but his father kind of ridicules his dreams and his plans, and he says they're all silly. So he's trying to find life and he's trying to like rediscover himself, and I'm very excited for this. It is a middle grade and I'm stoked. So next I have is Ashima, and I'm very excited for this book because it follows a little girl on her journey because her parents are joining the Indian movement to push forces out of India. And I'm very excited for this because I don't know much about Indian. My cat has her paw pushed under the door to try to get in here. I'm very excited because I have not read very many books about Indian culture and I don't know much about Indian culture, so I'm very excited for it, and I'm hoping it'll teach me a little bit more about the customs of India because their customs are very unique, and I'm very excited. Next I have The Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. I'm very excited for this one as well because I've heard amazing things about it. So this book follows a boy and a ghost who are trying to, I don't even know. Oh, he summons a ghost and he's determined to find out, and the ghost is determined to find out what happened to tie up some loose ends before he leaves, and left with no choice, Yadriel agrees to help Julian so they can both get what they want, but the longer Uriel spends time with Julian, the less he wants to leave. So a ghost love story. I was just telling one of my girls in my book club how I did not like ghost love stories, but here we are. I'm excited for The Cemetery Boys. Ooh, books are falling. What's going on? The next book I have to read is A Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak, which I'm sure a lot of you probably are already familiar of. It is about a Holocaust story of a little boy in Auschwitz. I believe he's in Auschwitz. I don't know. He's in a concentration camp, and it's just kind of his story of survival, and I'm very excited for it because I've been wanting to read it and I haven't. Excited to be forced to read it. The next one I have is The Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds, the graphic novel edition. So I'm very excited to read this book. It is about strangers in an elevator with a gun, and I'm very excited. I'm very excited for this book, and I think it's going to be amazing, especially in graphic novel format because it just looks absolutely stunning, and I'm very excited for it. Next I have The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton, and I'm sure a lot of you have read this book. I actually read this book years down the road, but I'm excited to reread it. So this book follows a pony boy and Johnny, and they get themselves into a little bit of a scuffle with the Socs of the city, and they are forced into hiding after a murder. So this book is absolutely amazing. If you guys have not read it, I absolutely love it. Freaking awesome, and I'm really excited to reread it. So the next are just a couple picture books that I have to read. So I have The Three Pigs by David Whistler. I won't go into these because they're picture books. I have The True Story of Three Little Pigs by John Szynka, and I also have The Stinky Cheese Man and Other Illustrated Tales, which is fun. The Stinky Cheese Man. He actually is kind of cute. Look at him. But yeah, those are all the books I have to read for this semester. I am a secondary education English language arts major, which is super exciting. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a super big thumbs up. Make sure you comment down below and tell me what books you guys are forced to read this semester, and make sure you hit that subscribe button for more videos like this. I upload every Monday and Thursday at 11:45 a.m. Eastern time, and make sure you hit that little bell notification to get notified every single time I upload. And without further ado, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!